It's always a shame to buy a new part for an old car you're still trying to squeeze some miles out of. Instead, you can go to a salvage yard, buy a used part, save some money, and take part in recycling. Well, Nashville fabric artist Clay Bush makes frequent trips to the salvage yard. For him, it's the beginning of a process of making fashionable, functional accessories. Clay Bush is a fabric artist who never expected a trip to the salvage yard would change his life. Like most customers, he was just looking for used parts for his car when he discovered something better, the secret to his artistic future.
I saw the seatbelts. I was actually interested in the weave structure. Every make and model has a different weave of the seatbelts, and the colors were really unique. So I grabbed a few, and since I knew how to sew on the industrial sewing machine, I started playing around with them. And then I just realized it's an unlimited resource.
Clay studied fabric arts at the Appalachian Center for Craft in Smithville, and then apprenticed in upholstery shops before launching his own business, turning discarded belts and harnesses into smart, sturdy messenger bags and purses.
It took some messing around, some playing around with it, because I really didn't know what I was doing. But once I finally got the first bag together, it just hit me like, wow, this is really cool. This is really unique, and I think people would really like this. It's a utilitarian item, It's something that is useful. It's a craft. It's not just, cutting them up and making an art piece out of them. So I just wanted to make something that was, had a purpose, but also was creative.
After each junkyard harvest, there's an intensive cleaning process, then storing and organizing raw material from vehicles dating back to the late 70s all the way to the present.
So then I have to roll all those up and have them organized, and that's when I begin to design and actually lay out, the color palette of what the bag's going to be like. Because there's so many different color seatbelts, I have to get it kind of organized into a palette selection before I can just randomly pull seatbelts out. It's really fun because I do a lot of color combinations that I myself might not like or might not want to carry around, but I know that it's a pleasing combination.
The creative process begins at this work table, cutting and arranging strips to make a pleasant, symmetrical design.
As you can tell, the material cost is not that great, but the labor put into it is definitely what adds up. I'm pretty picky about making sure it matches. These are for the buckles.
Speaking of seatbelt buckles, remember when they were all metal? Well, who knew they'd someday be used to open and close designer bags?
In the 80s, you didn't have to wear your seatbelt in the back seat, and most people didn't wear them in the front either.
Yeah.
So they're in great shape because they would just be stuck in the crack of the seat, or the seatbelts would stay in the door panels because people didn't wear them.
He uses heavy-grade nylon thread on his industrial-grade sewing machine. It makes 3 separate stitches on each pass.
This machine is a pretty awesome sewing machine. I've got it set up so I can got a little edge guide here, and it just keeps it going straight for me.
New technology, old principles, but as always, skilled hands are required to pull it all together.
There's a lot of time in it. And it's really nice when people recognize that. They see the bag and they recognize the time and labor that was put into it.
Okay, I have to point out one design omission some first customers noticed: no inside pocket. No problem. Clay's comeback was to deploy another natural resource, the airbag material nobody wants to see except here.
And it's a neat fabric because it's nylon, very durable, and it has a lining on the other side of it of silicone, so it's waterproof. That's so it holds the air when it's deployed. My disclaimer on all the pockets I use are that they've never been deployed. I now cut them out of the steering columns. I don't use ones that have been deployed.
Well, that's nice. Clay calls his brand and company Salvage Design and Upholstery. As the name implies, he not only does bags and billfolds, he's venturing into some upholstered furniture items too. Clay mainly markets his wares at festivals around the Southeast, steadily gaining some notoriety. In fact, Corey Cox from the Salvage Yard corporate office is even a fan.
It's an honor to have a chance to associate with him. We're very glad to have him as a customer, and the bags and things that he's making are just terrific, out of seat belts and whatnot, as he grows his business.
Well, from bags to bar stools, the ideas for seatbelt salvage work are endless. I guess only limited to Clay's imagination and his time.
I'm having to decide, where I want to go, if I want to stay in more in the creative realm or the, mass-produced, marketed. Buy 50 sewing machines and get 50 workers and start outsourcing it. So.
Well, meanwhile, for now, I hope you're having a good time with this.
I am, yeah. I'm definitely enjoying it, yeah.
For sure, Clay's is a be careful what you wish for kind of story. A success story, all thanks to the artistic potential of automotive salvage.
I think there's a lot to be said for, the energy and the time and what it takes to, put some effort into making something new again and instead of just throwing it away.